What's up, guys? Fox here, and today this is not a Glow podcast, but I might as well point this out, ladies and gentlemen. We're already halfway through the year of December. The 16th day of Christmas is here, and today, guys, depending on when this will be uploaded, we're only a few days away from Anthony Joshua getting a new fight, as he hasn't fought in over 15 months, I think. And Jake Paul trying to come back from his win against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., which how legit that fight was more than the Tyson fight. So yeah, and to be honest, guys, I would like to talk about the heavyweight title fights. Now, guys, this video is mostly all about the heavyweight division right now. Forget about the Terrence Crawford and him battling with the WBC and the CEO, or talking about well, mostly I would want to talk about Clarissa Shields taking on Franchon Cruz as they're going to fight in February in a couple months, but even though that time's not going to come, depending on whatever that fight is, even though it's a heavyweight fight. So what do you expect from that? But mostly, guys, the real story is mostly everything this December is interesting. Now, guys, I would like to talk about the other fights and heavyweight title fights, but to be honest, guys, mostly for this video, I'm just here to talk about mostly the title fight and for the WBA and the WBO interim heavyweight champion. It's not much of a title fight. Just like I never called the Philip Hergovich fight a legit fight for him and Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois and Philip Hergovich weren't really a title fight for a world title. It was an interim title. It didn't mean anything because it wasn't a world title. Yes, Daniel Dubois won the belt when Usyk stripped the belt couple weeks later after that. So, but it wasn't a title fight, and I don't think no one was expecting that he would have earned the title that way. Pretty much. So Fabio Wardley and the whole Joseph Parker and Joseph Parker failing a drug test and that, which is tough enough. The fight was close after 11th round, and depending on what Howard Foster, if he did a good job being the referee of that fight, I'm not gonna go into that and just say he did the right thing because who knows who did the right thing that night. It's hard to understand that. Like I said, I would like to talk about that fight from start to finish, but yet again, this is a 30-minute video I'm here to talk about, so pretty much this is what it is. Now, guys, I am going to cut back from other stuff. I'm already taking some time off from doing other things right now, which I have done, and taking breaks. I've done Mr. Glow podcast for over a while now, and even though I'm already thinking about making another podcast by the start of January, I'm already fixing on trying to do other stuff in January, mostly. For this channel, the month of January, February, and March, I will be doing Supernatural Trails Season 6 and Season 7. Like I said before, guys, each episode will be released on Tuesday and Thursday um, from those times. So, and there's going to be 10 episodes for Season 6, but I decided to do another 10 episodes for Season 7, which after the season finale of Season 6 is over, in a couple of days from now, Season 7 will happen. Why am I doing this? Well, I feel like taking time off because I was having problems going to other trails and watching out, and I wouldn't say I was boring. It was just depending on because I had problems. Guys, it's hard for me to walk in public because I keep shaking the camera, and it was just so bad for me. Like I couldn't hold on to the camera properly. Every time I try walking, I start shaking the camera, which I didn't know much. And there were some times when I was walking around the streets in areas during I did record just I don't want to spoil this for you viewers, but I did record videos of the 4th of July, a firework festival on a bridge in an area where it was all roped off for people to walk around the bridge of a road, which was closed for the time being, mostly. And surprisingly, I had problems. Like there was moments where I had to point the camera down because I didn't want to film a lot of the people there. I didn't want to film their faces. And there was even a time when I went to a protest area where I was trying to be a little bit wise about not filming people So who knows if there's any copyrighted or anything, any videos could be deleted. Any of the 20 videos could be deleted. I've already finished off the all 19 video productions. The 20th production I'm actually recording is actually a 50th episode celebration. Also, guys, when will I do season 8? Season 8 will, in my opinion, start in the month of May. So I'm actually going back to be doing 10 episodes. I was going to do 10 episodes, but I'm actually going back doing 8 episodes instead. Am I going to do some winter episode? Like go somewheres while it's winter time? Uh I am thinking of going to one trail. And there's actually one, guys. Season 8 is going to be a whole different story. I will start in the late spring, early spring of March after Groundhog's Day, depending if the winter is good or not. So by the mid part of March or so on, I will go back out to walking trails. But I am going to do one episode of winter just for the heck of it. I might not be into it, but who knows? I am going to go to cemeteries, and there's actually one area that's actually a haunted place that I did not know that was nearby where I come from, which is about 5 miles away from here. So, and there's actually supports that someone did say that they found a Bigfoot tracks of Bigfoots in York County in Maine last February. So, yeah, I was thinking of going to areas like Palmyra, Maine, or Camden or Catherine's Hill near an area of Par Harbor where a woman died, and another area what happened in the Haynesville Woods in Route 2A, which is far next to Brunswick, Canada. So, but depending if I have enough gas mileages to go out there and such, might take a while. But I am only thinking about going through those areas, so maybe I might start season 8 in the month of June. And then I'll do another one in, I'll say October for season 9. But that only depends. Like, I've already got all of them done for, so we'll have to see about that. So that's the whole. So technically, guys, considering I only have like 14 episodes left, I've already done 86 episodes of Hunger Games simulation videos, and I have 14 more episodes to go. So the entirety of the year of 2026 for this YouTube channel is going to be just videos of supernatural trails and me doing Hunger Game videos. And guys, by the month of March is over, when the season finale of season 7 of Supernatural Trails is over, I'm going to turn off all of the disabled comments, because I think everything that happened in 2024 and right now, I think I'm already being forgiven. I've already forgived a lot of the stuff that happened in my past. So I think people are going to forgive me for everything that went on. And if Alinity can recover her career, and maybe if VTuber Cinder can forgive her sins for what she did in the past, and I hope Cinder does not do the same stuff that she did a few months ago, and I hope she forgives everything for her sin and won't make those same mistakes again and just becomes a normal woman, which I hope she does, and everything that's happened to people like Pokimane, or even I hope Emaru will be okay, because whatever happened to her and Mizkif and all that other crazy controversy, I just hope all of that will be just ignoring the past and they just move on with their careers, ignore the friendship. Because guys, just like Chris Jericho once said about his song from the band of his band Fozzy when he made that song Enemy, is the truth. Because the song Enemy is originally a song about former friends of yours becoming enemies. So I think we do have to be careful about the past. I'm always afraid that one day Markiplier's friends, Bob and Wade, are going to go over the deep end and their friendship is going to be dead just like that, and their communities will be done for. I hope to God that won't happen to them, because I love Bob, I love Wade. Markiplier is a good dude, but I love his friends a lot. Not because they have 1 million subscribers and they're not known in the community more than Mark or Jack. So I want to give them credit to push on. And same thing for Akuma Numene and Battle Whale and Shy Lily. Like, they were great friends for Bikini Bottoms. And even their other friend, like Tricky, which I've heard there's some people that don't like Tricky for reasons why. and what happened to other VTubers like Annie, that's also got some controversy for some time ago. And their friend Yuzu isn't really getting a lot of subs, so I try to support her more than anyone else. So I try my best to make sure that those friendships won't be dead, because at the end of the day, we're going to have good friends and we're going to have bad friends, and one day we might be their enemy. So I always expect the worst from those to happen, and it does scare me. And I always try to tell people, like, hey, look, Logan Paul has to understand. And I just hope Jake Paul will understand that this whole thing with Anthony Joshua is a waste of time. Like, dude, if Jake Paul got hurt in a sparring match against a fighter named Frank Sanchez, the Cuban fighter, if he got hurt so bad, he can already understand what he's getting himself into. And guys, if I was in Jake Paul's shoes right now, I would be a little bit more smarter. I would rather fight in the Bridgerweight division, fight that Polish fighter that's past his prime, that's holding on to the WBC Bridgerweight title, and there we go. You have a title on the line. So I don't know why he's ranked in the WBA Cruiserweight division at top 15, and now he's fighting heavyweight. I just don't understand why Jake Paul is doing that, and who knows. So that's all I could say about that. But anyway, guys, I just hope all this stuff will go bygones by bygones, and we'll just see what happens. Because at the end of the day, guys, friendships aren't going to be very long, but it is what it is. So anyway, guys, the information is here simple. So, guys, I don't want to get into the month of November and the whole Jake Paul and the Gervonta Tank Davis thing, or everything that happened from here to there. And hearing that even though we already have the other title fights happening, Ellie Scottney got hurt and she had to fall out for her undisputed bantamweight fight. Also, don't forget, we do have the other fights with other fighters. And by the way, guys, I didn't realize this, but mostly with everything going on here, there's still opportunities for other champions to be involved in boxing, like in women's boxing. A German woman named Sarah Skuric became the light heavyweight champion 10 days ago on December the 6th against Lonnie Daniels in Germany, which was a great win for her. Took her 7 professional fights, just like how it took the Australian female Chi Conneely 5 professional fights to win the WBA light heavyweight champion in women's boxing. Also, guys, keep this in mind, guys. Considering Alexander Usyk has vacated his title, do we have anything to talk about him and what happened 2 weeks ago with Deontay Wilder? Alexander Usyk calls out Deontay Wilder, vacates the belt, and Fabio Wardley on November the 17th is champion. 2 weeks later, he's now challenging Deontay Wilder for the belt. And to be honest, as said before, we do have those other champions. Like the Polish fighter is an interim WBC Bridgerweight title. Even Kevin Loranda, the African fighter, is still Bridgerweight champion. Even another Russian dude named Muslim is still a WBA Bridgerweight championship. So I would rather want to see Jake Paul fight in that division instead. Jairo Pataya is already hurt after he knocked out another German fighter. And Gilberto Ramirez is still chicken out as we speak. And 3 days ago, Noel Mikhailian already defeated Badu Jack for the WBC Cruiserweight champion. So, and not only that, we heard that Artur Beterbiev is not having a fight with David Benavidez. So, yeah, with all this crazy stuff happening, I really don't know what to say about anything happening. And with Benavidez retaining his title in a better fight this last month ago, I don't know what to say about any of this. And oh, and by the way, Christian Mbili, the WBC super middleweight champion, is still interim champion, even though the WBC is vacant. So we don't know why Christian Mbili is not the WBC super middleweight champion, and we don't know why. And as for Terrence Crawford, if I was him, I would drop down the weight class, take time on, even fight in the middleweight division. And speaking about the middleweight division, Yanibek Amakanolia has already failed a drug test to not fight against Erislandy Lara. And Lara already picked off a big win. And also Gervonta Davis's last opponent, which we can already tell, the last fighter that he already fought against, which obviously, do we have to talk about that story with, well, probably best not to. Um, well, Lamont Roach actually didn't do a good job in the last fight, so he scores a second draw. Naoya Inoue is already fighting against a Mexican fighter on the 27th, 11 days from now. Also, Takuma Inoue defeated the Takuma Inoue won the vacant WBC belt last November against someone else, which we already know, the guy that took on Floyd Mayweather in 2018 in that exhibition fight. Yeah, what a bust. Oh, and also keep this in mind, Seiya Tatsumi is also 15 days ago won the WBA bantamweight title with Junto Nakatani making his debut in the super bantamweight the same night during the Mexican versus Samurai. So yeah, and that's about it. So like I said before, Clarissa Shields and Franchon Cruz are going to make their rematch since November 2016, fighting in February next year, in a few months from now. So interesting. Anyway, guys, let's get down to business. So, Murat Gassiev versus Kubrat Pulev for the WBA Regular Championship live in duty-free tennis stadium in Dubai, UAE. December the 12th, ladies and gentlemen, it was 4 days ago, and this fight was interesting. So, when I was looking at this on paper, I was looking at the former cruiserweight hardcore iron Russian fighter taking on the old Bulgarian Cobra that's still tougher than any other fighter out there, that can still throw a jab no matter what the cause is. So that's what I was looking at this on paper. A guy that's 44 years old from Bulgaria taking on another fighter from Russia that's still in the rankings, but he's not going to get his title shot any time now, ever since his loss against Alexander Usyk for their undisputed title in the final match for the Muhammad Ali Trophy in 2018. Takes a couple years off, defeats Nuri Safari, Michael Wallish in 2021, one fight against some random dude. A year later, he fights two fights in 2023 against Mike Bogan, the guy that defeated Tommy Morrison's son, Trey Lippy. And then this fight, Bogan dominated Murat Gassiev in round one. And then in the second round, Bogan got knocked out himself and lost his record. Before you know it, he fought someone else a year later. And a year later, in 2025, Mike Bogan gets defeated by Moses Atama in round two, a lot dominantly. Also, 6 or 7 so months later, in September the 30th, Otto Wallin also won by split decision against Murat Gassiev, causing him a chance to even make it back to the rankings. So he took on Kem Lindqvist, an undefeated fighter from Denmark, Jeremiah Milton in a different fight last August, and that's about it. Kubrat Pulev, well, ever since his loss against Derek Chisora in their rematch fight in 2022 was bad, he took some time off, took a full year hiatus off, fought in December against some guy that's now a bust, fights in March against a guy named Ihor, the Hulk from Ukrainian, which originally should have been Mahmoud Achar for the WBA belt. But of course, Pulev did win that fight. Those fights were all by decision, so he's not a knockout person. Like, Kubrat Pulev doesn't even have a lot of knockouts in his resume. With Murat Gassiev, he has 26 of his 33 wins coming by knockout, one no contest, and his two fights that were losses by decision. Kubrat Pulev, he's a tough fighter, but he still gets knocked out pretty decently in his career. Like, his 4 losses, 3 of them are by knockout losses, and 1 is by a decision. You're probably wondering, what was his 4th loss? Well, we're going to get to that. He has 14 wins, coming by 32 of those wins by knockout. 1 of them is a disqualification, 17 decisions. His last knockout win came way back against Bogdan Dino in a 7-round KO in March of 2019, which was the same day he got controversial for kissing a woman reporter. Shouldn't, but that's Kubrat Pulev for you. And yeah, He lost against Joshua. One rematch against Jerry Forrest. Derek Chisora. Again, the other fights in 2023 and 2024. And then December the 7th, he defeats Mahmoud Achar for the world champion. He's a winner. And that's it. Now it's been over a year since he last fought, and now they're taking on each other. So, pretty much, that's all you have to know about them. Crazy. Oh yeah, and by the way, in December of 2020, it said that Kubrat's brother, Tervel Polev, revealed in an interview that his brother Kubrat recovered from a COVID-19, and as of right now, he has two children. So consider it's been 5 years right now since that incident happened, so it's crazy. Interesting. Anyway, the fight. Murat Gassiev versus Kubrat Pulev for the WBA regular World Heavyweight Championship. So the first couple rounds of the fight are nothing much expected. The fight just starts out dominantly. Pulev just setting up with those great clean jabs, throwing everything on. He's moving his head back and forth as best he could. He throws those great left-right, left punch, two-punch combination. And he actually does it from the entirety of the fight, which is crazy. Murat Gassiev in the first couple rounds is throwing some body punches, but he's not getting anything done. He's just getting Kubrat Pulev an easy round to win some rounds in, and that's it. But coming into round 3, he does come in and does put a little bit of offense into Kubrat for some good, for some great work here, which is kind of interesting. Both of them are landing punches, pushing each other to the rope. But then in round 4, again, we have Murat throwing great body punches. Kubrat is now in trouble as he does get in the attack formation. And this is actually Murat's better round in round 4. Like, he did got some interesting stuff in round 3, but Kubrat was still landing more punches in that round. So by round 4, he's putting in a damn good work. An amazing run of efforts. He's just that good. He just shows Kubrat Pulev what he's made of. He hurts him. He's putting in so much offensive. Both of them are landing punches back and forth at each other. Great body punches in a while. And there's a good heavy punch in one round with a good uppercut. And there's even some times where Kubrat tries to throw an uppercut to scare him off a little bit. But again, coming to round 5, Murat Gassiev decides to slow down again to give Kubrat another round. And guys, in round 5 has to be so much of a dominant round for Kubrat because he's coming in, throwing that left-right two-punch combination. He's just getting it done. He's just putting all of the effort in. He's like, Murat might be a small guy for being a cruiserweight, and even though Kubrat is 12 years older than him, he's still throwing those great straight punches. Like, Kubrat is still showing everyone that he's still a tough man. Like, considering he's not a power puncher, but he still knows how to put some distance into each round of a fight that he fights in, which is crazy. Like, and even the commentators, guys, it's actually funny. The commentators even pointed out during the end of round 5 that Murat is a real bold, stylish fighter, but he doesn't have any head movement. And to be honest, I don't think Murat had any head movement in the fight. And guys, coming by the end of round 5, not one single time in those 15 minutes of the fight, Kubrat and Murat decide not to clinch. There are times they got close to each other, but they weren't clinching each other. They just kept it clean. They were just throwing punches. They weren't clinching at each other. There was not one single clinch in that fight, which is crazy. But then we come to round 5. Because as Kubrat just comes in and just lands those great two-punch combinations as he does, and Murat does get some body punches in sometime and such, but I don't think there was any injuries for both fighters. But then the 6th round. We come to round 6. Both guys come at each other. They throw the punches. They land the deals. And then with 30 seconds into the fight ends here. Murat comes in. He throws a couple body punches. backs Pulev off. And then Pulev sets another two-punch combination. Murat moves forward, sets up a cross. Kubrat tries to put his hand straight into Murat's face to block him, to actually block his face. As he does that, exposing his entire face, trying to push Murat away, Murat sets off this left punch right down to the temple of his chin, settles it, and down goes Pulev on the ground. The crowd is stunned. Everyone can't believe it. Kubrat tries to get back up. As he's already on his two knees, the referee is already counted to 8. As the referee's about to say 9, he waves the fight off because it doesn't matter. But Kubrat had no chance of getting up, so he just counts all the way from 8 and then 9, 10. So he just counts the last ones because at that moment, Kubrat might be hurt right now, but yet again, he doesn't have what it takes to get up. The count was fair, so that knockout punch, like, guys, the heavyweight division right now this year has so much knockouts going on, you just can't believe it. Like, Fabio Wardley coming back 2 great knockout victories, even though the Justice Hooney fight was more legit than the Joseph Parker one. Alexander Usyk comes out with another heavy left punch to bring down Daniel Dubois. And you have an amazing last round knockout punch by Claressa Shields, bringing down her opponent. What's her name again? I forgot her name. Oh, I gotta remember what her name is. Claressa Shields versus Daniel Perkins, where Claressa Shields set up that amazing right punch and brought down Daniel Perkins in the last seconds of the 10th round. So, yeah, this heavyweight division it's pretty surprising, depending on how much crazy stuff's happened. And also having Agit Cabello get knocked down by Zhilei Zhang in their fight in February, and then the next round later, Agit finds some body punches into Cabello, into Zhang, and wins the fight in the next round. That right there was also history there as well. So don't forget about that moment. So, yeah, the entire month of 2025 in the heavyweight division has a lot of knockouts going on here. Pretty much. So, and even though I will suspect it was a great fight, at this moment I will say maybe Kubrat Pulev should just hang up the gloves. He did good in that fight, but he just can't handle a prime 32-year-old Russian fighter like Murat Gassiev. I just hope that if there is a chance, because we did heard that last year ago in February, the WBA have a 24-month extension for Usyk to fight someone. So next year in 2027, Usyk's going to fight. So we hope Usyk will retire soon. And as for his call out against Deontay Wilder, we'll see about that soon enough. Him and his talk against Shannon Briggs a few days ago during that fight against Pulev and Gassiev was great. It was a great conversation. So who knows? Who knows? So, guys, what do I have to say about the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight? Well, guys, before I end this video in only a few minutes, I will have to say this. We're almost at the 30-minute mark, so I might as well point this out. Now, guys, Tyson Fury already changed his story about a couple of days ago, so I might as well have to point this out. Guys, this is what I'm predicting in the fight. The Anthony Joshua fight and Jake Paul fight is interesting. Here's the thing. Guys, I'm expecting this to be an interesting fight, but just not the way I want it to be. For a reason. And that reason is pretty much the obvious. Because at this moment, guys, Anthony Joshua... Guys, I'm not expecting Anthony Joshua to put a lot of offense in the first couple rounds. So this is my prediction. I have a few predictions here. My first prediction is going to be that Joshua is just going to bring him out in the first round, give Jake Paul a hard time, or better yet, he's going to have Jake Paul to try to come after him and then have AJ set him up for a knockout just to mess up Jake Paul, similar to how Deontay Wilder knocked out Arthur Spilka when he had Arthur Spilka come after him. And he set him up a punch, knowing where his head was going to be when Spilka was coming after Wilder. So, who knows? My second prediction is in the first couple rounds, they're going to set things up because it's an 8-round fight, not a 2-minute fight. It's going to be an 8 3-minute round fight. So the first couple rounds, they're going to set each other up. Joshua's going to think that Jake is going to be nice to him and give him some rounds in. And probably by round 3 or round 4, they're going to make it a lot more scarier. And probably there might be times that Jake Paul is going to start clinching AJ. So who knows? And probably by maybe round 5 or 6, Jake Paul is going to get tired. And probably if there is videos online, because videos online have said that they do see some hand movements from Jake Paul. Like one time when he took on against Tyron Woodley and he moved his glove this way, which meant that Woodley on purposely moved his glove away from his hand just so Jake can knock him out. Or the time where he did that to Mike Tyson just to set them up for those hard punches, which is why they think those fights are fixed. But yet again, I'm not going to point all that out just for the heck of it. But looking back at it, who knows? But my third and final prediction will have to be AJ is going to try to give Jake Paul some rounds, or better yet, he's going to try to hurt Jake Paul, but they're going to try to go the distance because Jake Paul doesn't want to hurt Jake Paul. So AJ will just hit some punches, jab him on, give him a hard time in those 8 rounds, and have Jake Paul be frustrated, just like Canelo Alvarez was when he fought against Terrence Crawford, and similar fights to him and fighting against Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Dimitri Bivol, because just like the Crawford fight, Alvarez had problems in those fights as well, which makes you wonder how tough Canelo is. So is AJ going to do that to Jake and go the full 8-round distance? Still, those 3 predictions will make me predict that AJ is going to win those 3. Or maybe out of the bloom, guys, I can expect someone in one of the early part rounds, probably in round 2 or so, when Jake Paul finally gets back to his corner, he's going to take a water break, 1-minute water break, and before they get into the next round, someone might say that we're going to put some substance next to one of the corners, like we're going to start wiping all the wet stuff in the corner before the round starts. And then someone's going to put pretend some sticky or wet, slippery substance. And Jake Paul is going to walk to that corner and he's going to pretend to slip and get hurt. And then AJ will punch him while he's down. And then they'll call it a disqualification. And then we'll have controversies that someone fixed the fight to make Jake win the fight or something. That's another 4th prediction. But that one's going to be ridiculous. But who knows? It might happen. It might happen. But yet again, it just goes to show you we're only a few days away, but any of those 4 predictions I just predicted could happen. We could have a first round knockout. We can have a stoppage in any of the 4th round or even the 6th or 7th round or the last fight if Jake decides to quit and lose his mind and get upset and have excuses that AJ messed him up. Or we'll just have the 3rd prediction. The fight will go 8 rounds the distance, and we might have a controversial decision where AJ should have won by knockout instead of a decision, and he just went too kind, throwing jabs in the entire fight, giving Jake Paul a hard time. Or the 4th prediction. Someone might put some substance around the corner, wiping off with a towel after the round starts in Jake Paul's corner, and Jake Paul will just win by disqualification. It just goes to show you guys, there's a lot of weird predictions out there, and I don't know which one to pick because I might be wrong in all 4. But that's what makes this interesting. we're just gonna have to wait and see, guys. It's gonna be interesting, but all I can say is we're just gonna have to wait. But with that being said, we'll see you guys in a few days in the future. And I know we want to talk about the Agit Kabayel and the Damian Niba Polish fighter, but again, just like all the other fights, just like Mozatama and his other fighter that he's fighting against, and Deontay Wilder putting face to face against Derek Chisora, like all that stuff and everything else I forgot to talk about. Let's just let all that be aside. So, with that being said, and also, guys, just have a wonderful Christmas. Everyone out there, just good luck because we need all the luck we can get for Christmas. So, see you next time.